So anybody who's here in the audience, they want to introduce themselves. Avinash, Hemant, Mahendra, Ramesh, Sandeep, Dushyant, Manoj.
Yeah, hi. Hello, Lokesh ji and everybody. Good afternoon from India. I'm new to this kind of interactive sessions, so I was not aware whether it is a monologue kind of webinars or what. So thank you for inviting. I would like to first introduce myself. I am director at Scapai Global. We are into merchant export and import, and currently we are doing the vitrified tiles as an export primary product. We are currently doing business with Vietnam by importing calcium carbonate powder from the northern part of Vietnam. And we are supplying it here to the PVC pipe manufacturing industry. So this is how we are already doing the business with Vietnam. For me, my curiosity for attending this webinar, this session is to learn if I want to expand my product portfolio about doing business with Vietnam, let it be export or import, what those products could be. And I'm intending to visit Vietnam again after this pandemic. I have visited it before, and I want to again visit it, Vietnam. So how are the situation there in terms of traveling procedures, visa procedures, and etc. So need more clarity. Getting so many mixed kind of information, which is pushing me to the confusion. So I'm looking forward to get a clarity about it. Thank you.
Okay. So Lokesh, can I start actually?
Sir, I think we are still waiting for more people to join. Sir.
Okay.
So welcome, Mahendra, to the webinar. It's good that you're only working in Vietnam. I think how much have you traveled to Vietnam before?
Yes, sir. I have traveled thrice.
Okay. And do you find any change, any difference between how people work in Vietnam, how people work in India?
Sir, I found so much similarities in terms of culture and dedication towards the work. In fact, I found people in Vietnam more dedicated to the work than India. I'm sorry to my Indian friends, but I found them more honest toward their duties, more dedicated to the work. And since most of the work is finishing off by 6 p.m. and everybody is enjoying their time with family, so there is a perfect balance between the work and family, which I learned from them. And a bit difficult here, especially in the market of Gujarat, to implement that, because here the culture is like starting early in the morning at 8:39 and working till 8:39 in the PM. So that's the vast difference there. And I like the culture. I like the street food there. The kind of welcome and warmth I got in Vietnam, it was fabulous. I would, if the time permits, I would like to share one incident that I visited a BNI meeting over there through a common friend, and they ran that entire meeting in two languages just for two of us, me and my colleague. So that was incredible, incredible. Thank you so much for that.
No problem, we can do this. Okay. And you talk to my agent first. I'll give you the sum.
Yeah, am I listening? I think there is some sound. Somebody speaking.
Yes, sir. I have muted the mouse.
Interesting.
Hello?
Yes, please. Sandeep, would you like to introduce yourself? Sandeep, you're muted.
Sandeep, I think so. There are two Sandeep.
Yeah, I'm talking about you, Sandeep Narola.
Okay. Hi, Lokesh. How are you?
All good.
Good. Yeah. So I am Sandeep Narula. So we are involved into testing and we help the manufacturers in getting the certifications for India. So like now there are many certifications which are mandatory, like all the footwears, toys, all electronic items. Maximum, many of the electronic items are mandatory if you want to sell that India. So we help them, the manufacturers, in getting all these certifications. Thank you.
Good afternoon, guys. My name is Hemant, and I'm working with one of the retail company here in India. I started my career with sourcing Indian product for my, the people, the organizations, retailers, wholesalers, e-tailers based out of Europe and America. And for last year, I have shifted focus, from domestic sourcing to, working with retail company as a category head, especially in the field, in furniture field. So now the profile has actually gone a little change from sourcing product only from India to sourcing furniture from other places, including Vietnam, China, Brazil, Turkey, and Malaysia. So that's a brief about me.
Hemant, if I'm not wrong, you were the friend like when we met Rajneesh. Is a common friend, Rajneesh?
Yes. The same Hemant Lokesh. We know
Long
each other for last 20 years, I believe.
Long time.
Yeah. We met in Hayat.
Yes.
I
don't
remember
remember
the
the
place.
meeting, but yes, we have interacted.
Yes.
And you had just, I think you were in Walmart at the time.
Yes. Thank you, Lokesh, for inviting me, boss.
Most welcome. We have a couple of more people who are asking for links, so probably they are confused. They are just joining.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Mr. Lokesh, please let us know when we can start the program.
If sir is ready, we should actually start now.
Okay, I think good evening, Lokesh, and I think thanks colleagues who have joined actually. So I understand that one or two times we postponed this event, this interaction.
I hope you're okay now.
I was also not well for 1 month due to this.
Yeah.
No, I'm okay. But I think COVID is a little bad. If I'm not wrong, I think it causes lots of weakness actually. That very surprisingly, even if I didn't have any kind of symptoms or signs, but weakness was there actually. I don't know whether due to medicine or whether due to real COVID actually. So, so actually, I understand that 2 or 3 of your members spoke about Vietnam, and I like to tell a little bit more from my experience what I see this market, see this country, and so let us start. Actually, in this presentation, but again, I'll be open for questions members wants to ask me, and I'll try my best to answer them back. So Khan, we'll go for the first slide. Actually, I think let us. So we have got the first slide, Gone. Yeah, okay. This internet is quite unstable. Can you?
Yes, sir.
Do it
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, can you see the slide, sir?
Polaris, he can do quickly. He can do quickly.
CZ sir, can you hear me, sir? So I think there might be a slight internet issue. I think CG will rejoin us shortly. Mr. Lokesh,
Yeah.
can you still see my screen, sir?
Yes, I
Yeah.
can see.
So good.
Avinash, we are just starting it now.
Sir? Yes, sir. Can you see my screen, sir?
Yeah,
Yes.
we can.
Okay. First, yes, sir.
Okay, so let us just talk. Actually, this Vietnam is a small country, small size country, and if you take it, it is the size of Rajasthan or a little less than Rajasthan, but having a very long coastline, more than 3,000 kilometers, and historically lots of connection between India and Vietnam, no doubt.
Sir, you are muted, sir.
Okay, so let me start. Okay, Vietnam, as we know, the member of ASEAN countries, a Southeast Asian country, and the country in the recent times is coming in the newspaper due to its economic growth and development, and also being an attractive point for investment, large investment size actually. So because today I think we have to discuss about this manufacturing part, what is the advantage of manufacturing, but I think we have to also understand the economy. Then after, I'll also a little bit speak about the government policies, how they're promoting. And I think one of the member who told about the characteristics difference between Indian laborers and the Vietnamese laborers, which is correct actually, partly correct. And we'll see actually, and finally we can discuss what we can do for the association and in Vietnam. Okay, so Vietnam, as we know, that in 1986 they started the reform process actually in 1986, and 1986 you'll be surprised that the whole economy was only of import and export of 3 billion only, and there was trade deficit also. But it joined in the World Trade Organization in 2007. And from 2010 to 2020, this country has a miraculous growth. And I understand that from 2015 to 2019, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, the 5 years, it started clocking at 5 to 6% growth. And this is the period when lots of development happened. And if you see the current Vietnam, 64 provinces, small provinces, just like our districts size, but the country is very well integrated through road, airport, and ports, actually, riverine ports systems. And after once it joined, started the economic reforms, so lots of foreign players entered, and significant shifting of the production line due to the presence of global MNCs. In 2019, you'll be surprised that the total trade was almost 517 billion, and there was trade surplus of 11 billion. And this year in 2021 also, the trade, bilateral trade, when you can, if you would see, import and export had crossed almost 660 billion. And again, there was some trade surplus for Vietnam. Being a small country, it has exported almost 333 billion worth of products in 2021 itself. And can you go to the second slide? And as you know, I think the currently, if you know, the Vietnam's economy is quite resilient during this COVID crisis. It is the only one country among all the ASEAN country which clocked positive growth of 2.9% in year to 2020. And 2021 also it had clocked some positive growth, although there was some recession, some contraction in the past 3 quarters. The last quarter has seen some positive growth actually. So currently, if you see in 2021, agriculture sector is contributing almost 14% to the GDP, while manufacturing and service sector is contributing to 63% of the GDP, and the service sector is 22%. Here I want to tell you that if you see the agriculture sector, in some of the products like rice, cashew nut, or maybe coffee, or maybe tea, and some agro products, and if you go for fishery products like fish and prawn and some different kind of items, Vietnam is a very strong contender in the whole world. Actually, it exports a large volume and large value size of products to the whole world. Actually, world I'm telling you because it has a trade relationship with more than 180 to 90 countries, but the major markets are in US and European Union actually. And if you go to the fourth slide, B, so in 2021, as I told you, the bilateral trade went up. The import-export, they went up more than 660 billion, and there has been increase of by 22% year on year in export also, in imports also, and there is a some kind of trade surplus for Vietnam also. But here we have to understand that most of the exports are driven by the foreign invested companies in Vietnam. Almost 90% of the export is driven by foreign exported companies. So 10% is the Vietnamese companies which export. And most of the export products are, as I told you, agriculture products, fishery products, and some cash crops. And in manufacturing also, Vietnam is becoming a strong manufacturing point for leather products, for textile products, and machineries. And from foreign companies, it is mostly the computers and electronics peripherals, all these things. In service sector, as we know, Vietnam until 2019 was also a very good destination for travel industry. It was also contributing a lot to the GDP. But 2021, due to the COVID crisis, it has gone down. But again, it is going to catch up. You'll be surprised that Vietnam received more than 18 million foreign tourists in 2019, and the same number like India. And the hospitality sector is quite strong in Vietnam. Because it has a long coastline, so lots of provinces have been developed. They have developed hospitality industries like tourism industries much better than any other country also. And if you see the trade partners of Vietnam, here I want to tell you like US and China, with which Vietnam is doing more than 100 billion dollar trade actually. Very surprising because being a small country, they are doing almost 120 billion business with US and almost 70% export, 30% import only. While with China, it is a little opposite, but again, it is a huge business of more than 120 billion actually. And so China is also not only a large export market, but China is also the source of almost 65% of the input products which Vietnam need actually, it gets from China. While with India, from India, it is less than 10%, what I understand actually. Because Vietnam, as you know, it is a resource deficit country except agriculture items. And being a small country and long shape actually, so most of the items come here semi-finished or input-wise, and they make the finished products. But the best part is that in recent times, Vietnam has signed multiple agreements with countries with economic unions, which have allowed Vietnam to export its product to different countries without trade and tariff barriers actually. And that is an advantage of Vietnam. More than 14 free trade agreements have Vietnam has signed actually, apart from as part of ASEAN also. Here I want to tell you, like, if we go to with India, how we are doing actually. India definitely, I think we started our reform process little late. Vietnam, China, they started little early actually. And in 2000, we had a just business of only 200 million. But in that contrast, if you look at 2021, our bilateral trade has touched 13 billion, almost more than 60 times. 60 times. So trade has gone up. In 2021 also, in spite of COVID, it was a good sizable trade value. But in 2021, it went up because lots of pharmaceutical products were imported by Vietnam from India. And we saw some of the products like engineering products being imported from India. But some of the traditional products like meat items, textile items, it has shown a decrease in its value actually with Vietnam. And both for India, Vietnam, They're important for each other as the largest trading partner within ASEAN. Also, it's quite important after Singapore, Indonesia, and Malaysia. It is the fourth largest trading partner actually. From India, normally we export iron and steel. And again, you must be knowing that Vietnam itself is a strong steel producer also. Not big size, but again, they have a big market also. They buy iron and steel raw materials from India also. They make products, again, they sell back to India also. Again, we export machinery and equipments. I told that it has seen a large increase. Pharmaceuticals, we have a business of almost 220 to 230 million dollar business last year. Earlier, we are exporting large volume and value of fishery items, but now it has gone down a little bit, I think, due to COVID and due to logistic problem. Cotton also earlier we are selling more, but now again it has gone down. But again, there is a re-attempt to connect to the Vietnam market, and we feel that we'll be able to succeed in exporting more and more fabrics and cotton items to not cotton raw materials actually mostly to Vietnam. And there is auto component. If you know, Vietnam is a country of two-wheelers actually. In Ho Chi Minh City itself, which has a population of 14 million and more than 9 million two-wheelers in Ho Chi Minh City itself. And I was just told by someone that every Vietnamese family, if you tell per capita, it is 1.5 kind of automobiles. But unfortunately, in earlier time when Vietnam approached India to set up some plant here, like a Bajaj company who was approached, Hero Motors was approached, due to different reasons, they did not enter into this market. So the Japanese and the South Korean auto companies, they entered, and the whole market is now in their hands. So mostly from India, they buy the auto components only. Again, chemicals, Vietnam is coming up in a big way. Again, they buy some chemicals, raw materials from India also, from China also, but they're becoming strong. Animal feed also, they buy a large size from India. Plastic raw materials, they also buy from India, but they are also now good in plastic manufacturing of plastic products. And from Vietnam, as we know, the Samsung, LG, and other US companies, they have big setups. So we buy lots of mobile phones, accessories, electronic items. Our electronic items also to Vietnam has shown an increase actually, and machinery equipment. And we also buy some agro-based commodities. So what are the opportunities in Vietnam? I'll just tell this part, then after we'll go. So as we know, actually, as one of the member told that the labor sector, I have seen in the morning 5 o'clock, 5:30. If you stand on the road, you will be seeing almost 50,000 to 1 lakh bikes going in a direction. Direction means towards the industrial zones. And what I understand that the workers, they put in their heart and soul for 8 hours to work, actually, not like the Indian concept. Unionism is there, but not bad like ours part. So, and all these factors have helped Vietnam to become a kind of emerging as a small manufacturing hub for different products. Apart from that, definitely the government policies and the geostrategic location and the US and China war has also helped Vietnam in a big way. And currently, as it is written that Vietnam is the 5th most optimistic country globally, providing opportunities for regional sourcing and manufacturing of goods, and e-commerce business and partnerships. Even if Vietnam's food and large agriculture base provides opportunities to Indian companies for food processing and manufacturing value-added products. Here I'll just a little bit add actually, like Vietnam has become one among the countries which is attracting investment of large investment. Like last year, I think they had got committed of 29 billion, but I think the realization was up to 21 billion US dollar actually. And mostly the companies from Singapore and Japan and South Korea, they are the and Taiwan, Thailand and Taiwan also, they are also they're investors, big investors in Vietnam. What has advantage for Vietnam is that being the provinces are very small in size actually, maybe you can tell it 50 to 100 kilometer length and 30 to 40 kilometer wide, because if you know Vietnam's width at the highest level will be more than only 200 kilometers. Now should be 54 kilometers, 58 kilometers in the central Vietnam. So it has helped them to set up very good road connectivities. And being part of Mekong Delta, so the riverine ports have also come up in a nicely, and they have very good deep sea ports in South Vietnam, in North Vietnam, which are helping them to connect to the world in a proper way actually. The roads are very good and better than India, I can tell you. And currently the e-commerce market in Vietnam is also growing in a big way. Although fintech is still yet to catch up in a big way. These are the areas which we'll discuss if some questions will be asked actually, which are the areas we can enter into. And the e-commerce market is expanding in Vietnam. By 2020, it was about 2.3 billion US dollar. But the online market is only 1% of the total retail market actually. The e-commerce potential is quite exciting, and there can be benefits of partnership in product testing, sales, logistics, customer insights, online marketing, and brand awareness. And if you know, this country is spending billions of dollars in creating infrastructures, and they have better infrastructure than some of our states. As I told you, Rajasthan, while maybe having a GDP of 120 to 130 billion and less size of Vietnam, as we discussed, the GDP is almost 300 billion US dollar actually. And currently they're doing lots of infrastructure constructions, including metro rail systems and north to south corridors, kind of things. Okay, then let us come to this manufacturing sector. Actually, that is the main question of today's discussion actually. How strong is Vietnam's manufacturing sector actually? So there are some important points that we have to understand that due to strategic location, we know, I think Vietnam strategic location in Southeast Asia, the young population, more than 50% of the young population of working age, cheap labor. As of now, the cost of hiring a labor in Vietnam is half of what the cost is in China actually. It's almost $3 for 1 hour. Today I was reading some articles, and the last number of free trade agreements, because being a LDC country, as of now by international standards, Vietnam also gets lots of preferential treatment when its products enter into others market actually. And some of the important manufacturing areas like textile and garment industries, it has grown up in a big way. And now Vietnam is the 4th largest garment exporter in the world after China and EU. And they're exporting large size, almost 29 billion worth of garment they have exported in 2021 actually. Now Vietnam, in other ways also, it is the 2nd biggest supplier of footwear and apparel to US after China. So there's this leather industry is also coming up. They buy some raw leather from India, but I think their leather products are also quite appreciated in European Union actually. So there are lots of foreign companies, the Western brands who have invested in tech, garments, and sportswear in Vietnam. Adidas has a big, Nike and Adidas, they have a big unit here in Vietnam itself actually. But we can also discuss later on how is the textile industry of Vietnam if some questions come actually. And as I told you, from 2014 or 15 onwards, large size investment has come. And the government is quite careful in setting up multiple industrial parks and industrial zones actually. And but the main driving cities are that is Ho Chi Minh City, which almost takes care of 30 to 40% of the whole GDP, or 30 to 40% of the whole import and export basket of Vietnam. And there are some important provinces in North Vietnam, which is more under the influence of China. Like China is just sitting on the north part of Vietnam. Hanoi and some of the provinces, they're also quite good. And some of the large plants by Samsung and others have been set up in North Vietnam also. Because South Vietnam, as you know, it is more into agriculture, more into textile products, these chemicals, these plastics, and recently the construction materials, and even if some communication and other equipments, they have also started manufacturing in Vietnam itself, in South Vietnam. In southern Vietnam, which is under my jurisdiction actually, there are 29 provinces. up to half of Vietnam. And I have gone to some of the factories which are quite modern in nature. Actually, I have gone to some of the seafood processing factories, and from where the products go directly to Australia or US, highly modernized products. But as one of our member told that the advantage Vietnam is that discipline and working well. The workforce actually highly disciplined. So 8 hours if they come to office, they come to the factory, they work for 8 hours properly actually. And third point is that, as I told you, large investments has come, and that has also helped Vietnam in improving its profile actually. And you'll be surprised that Ho Chi Minh City, the office space is the most costliest among all the Southeast Asian countries. In Southeast Asian countries means mostly in ASEAN countries. In Ho Chi Minh City, the per square meter or per square feet office space has the highest cost actually, highest cost. So in Vietnam, we have got electronics industries, and we have also got electrical industries with large investment from Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, China, Hong Kong, and Singapore also, and Thailand also. Thailand has also invested a lot in food processing industries in my jurisdiction actually. So I'll go to the next one. I think that is the manufacturing sector. As you know, the key drivers actually, driving factors are that low labor cost, open environment for FDI. But I understand that if you want to set up a office here or industry here, the process is faster. And once you get the industry license, then frankly, there is not so much interference from the government actually. I have seen some Indian companies who have invested in rice bran oil factory in my area, in my jurisdiction actually. And when I was asking them what is the factor why you came here actually, why not in India or why so the main factor is that very less or no interference once you get the license to start the production actually. That is very important. And second important point, the advantage of manufacturing sector is the largest labor market in ASEAN, more than 55 million. That is very surprising because here in Vietnam, it is being an egalitarian society, both males and females, they all are part of the workforce actually. And 60% of the population under the age of 35, so which will again expand for the next 20 years. So that is also a big advantage for Vietnam labor. And next point is that the large number of free trade agreements which Vietnam has made. And sometimes you can add that being a LDC country, there is preferential trade treatment for Vietnamese products for the European and US markets. But again, even if you have industries, you must have supporting factors. The main supporting factors, as I told you, being a small country, even if they have multiple airports. I was surprised, like within 200 to 300 kilometers distance, they have airports and very good road connectivity. Just like India, they have north-south corridors, they have express highways, and multiple riverine ports actually, and very good number of deep sea ports on eastern side of Vietnam and in southern Vietnam also. So it is very important, and I think they in recent times, in the last 5 to 7 years, they have started investing in the education sector, in the higher education sectors. So quality of workers, quality of managers you get nowadays is much better than what Vietnam was 10 years back actually. And as we know, in 2021, due to this COVID crisis, there was US-China trade war. So some of the industries, they have also shifted to Vietnam. I can tell you every day there is a story of Vietnam. Every day there is a big investment being announced in Vietnam of multiple billions, 2 or 3, 4 billions in a small specific area by the investing countries. And again, without government support, the manufacturing sector cannot progress nicely. So there are lots of tax incentives. I also saw during this COVID crisis, the government gave lots of concessions. The government delayed the loan repayments. And again, when the COVID crisis was going down, the government allowed the workers to go back and go back to the factories to start working actually. The government itself took lots of measures so that the supply chain should not be disrupted, the industrial production should not be disrupted. So as I mentioned earlier also, that once you get the license to start production, very less interference is from the government side actually in Vietnam. So they have announced some laws also, law on enterprises, law on investment, law on taxes, and there is low CIT rates for fixed period. They have also announced very recently. And I have seen that whenever investors come, the whole government structure invite them for meetings, discussions, and they take the decision quickly, a little bit quickly, so that the investor can start constructing his factory or industry here. I have gone to so many industrial parks here also. I've seen that in some areas, like very close to Ho Chi Minh City, more than 90% utilization. Actually, in Ho Chi Minh City, there is no space actually. Even if some of our companies, they are planning to, SCL is planning to set up a second center here, but they're not getting space actually. And some big companies from Hyderabad in IT sector, they are also wanting to set up some industries. They need also 2,000 engineers, but again, they're not getting space. So Ho Chi Minh City, you can tell it has been saturated, but I think there are some more space. They're planning to set up new industrial parks also. But next to Ho Chi Minh City, there is a place called Binh Duong province, which is again a big commercial hub. Almost all the foreign industries are there, even if our Indian industries like Godrej, Wipro, even if Tata Coffee, all have presence there. And during my interaction, when I used to talk to them, they all are happy because they have made some 80 to 100 million investment and they have got back actually. And even in Tata Coffee, 99% of their products goes to the Russian market. So quite interesting actually. And if you discuss about the weakness of the Vietnam manufacturing sector, definitely bureaucracy is everywhere. So here also the bureaucracy is a little bit difficult, no doubt. And as I told you, there are more number of foreign companies who have a large contribution to the export basket, less number of Indian Vietnamese companies who have come to an international level. But you'll be happy to know that last year, if I'm not wrong, again, just like India, Vietnam is also on the march. They're also creating multiple billionaires, again, at youngest level. And it's going to be a trend actually in Vietnam due to opportunities. And in textile, as I told you, Vietnam still follows that quart system, like where they get a order of making the garments of a specific nature kind of things. So somewhere innovation is lacking a little bit in Vietnam. Innovation is lacking. Definitely training part is needed actually. The vocational training, I have gone to their universities also. I think that also needs a little bit reorientation. That they're trying, no doubt that they're trying, but I think here we have also opportunities if some of our members are into vocational training, they want to train with some kind of revenue model, then we can also try to bring the Vietnamese side to have a talk with the Indian side also. And so the current advantage of Vietnam, like low skill, labor intensive industries, it may in future, maybe after 20 years, it may like to dissipate, which is a common trend, actually. And as you know, Vietnam has this agriculture products, this fishery products, where Vietnam has an advantage. But in the recent times, due to overproduction, overutilization of groundwater, over fishing, and things have gone for bad actually in Mekong Delta areas. And due to climate change and other change, this area is also becoming difficult. And Vietnam has also committed to international community to reduce fishing, reduce exploitation of groundwater up to certain level actually. And this Mekong Delta area, another big problem is happening is that the salt intrusion, where the salt water of the sea can come back to river up to 5 kilometers, quite a long distance actually. So here the government is trying to go for alternate systems, like instead of agriculture or fishery, they're going for horticulture. They're trying to also set up those industries which can be started with without depending upon the soil or the water condition of the local areas. So these are the important points of Vietnam. And I can just tell you some areas, potential areas for growth of bilateral trade. Again, just like India, here there is a big middle class which is coming up, almost 30% of the whole population. The per capita income has gone up. The per capita expenditure pattern has also gone up, and as you know, we have very strong relationship with also Vietnam, and the areas where we can do the trading, actually trading, as I told you, uh, uh, in Vietnam, actually, as I told you, uh, in every area, whether it is agriculture, whether it is manufacturing, whether it is service sector. If you tell service sector, the tourism and hospitality industries, Vietnam is quite good in setting up the hotels or the infrastructures. But if you come to the staffing pattern, coming to the human resource, I think there is a need, actually. And here also Indian companies can enter very well. A little bit we are surprised because we just last week we told Tata to why not to see some projects here, because I think due to this COVID, some of the international brands, they're also selling their products, selling their hotels. So why not to Tata to explore the option of buying it, actually. But from training angle, like hospitality sector, and if I take medical care sector, and if you take the pharmaceutical sector, the nursing sector, and higher education sector, here also our companies or our people can enter very nicely. We can also support them, actually. If you come from manufacturing sector, because we know that India, we have also announced for our Atmanirbhar Bharat scheme, actually, where we want to make a part of the whole part of the supply chain in India. But here, Indian companies can also explore whether they can join with the Vietnamese companies in either a full or either a part to make the final products for Indian market or for the whole world market. Here you will get the benefit is that labor cost definitely and ease of doing business is there, and the finance system and banking system is becoming better and better, because in Ho Chi Minh City itself there are more than 21, 22 foreign banks only. Even if we have our own Bank of India is here also, which can support the Indian companies with fund for both import and export or expanding their business here also. If you tell about the agriculture part, as I told you, Tata is present here in coffee. There is another Indian company, again, they are also present in coffee. And we have very small investment in the food processing sector. But in the last 1.5 years, I have got request from the Vietnam government that why not the Indian companies are coming and setting up processing plant for fish products, for meat products, for food items. I can just tell you there is a place very close to our province. They make more than 1 lakh. They produce 1 lakh tons of ripe mangoes, very beautiful mangoes. But they don't have any processing plant in that province. And what they do, they just sell all of their products to China at a damn rate, actually. So lots of requests have come to us, but due to this COVID, we could not also contact to Indian side. So there is, my point is that although the association is a buying agent association, but I am sure some of the members may have the capacity to explore partnership also with Vietnamese companies. So whether it's agriculture or agro products or agro machinery products or horticulture products or cash crop products, definitely Indian companies can do business. In manufacturing also, in textiles or leather products or plastics or chemicals, or even in construction infrastructure, which are little capital intensive, our Indian companies can invest or can partner. And Vietnam, as you know, is an important country from renewable energy point of view also. This country has lots of potential both in wind energy and solar energy. Some of our big companies from India, they are also exploring for investment in solar and wind energy, even if they are exploring for investment in construction of new port, and some discussions have happened, actually. So here also I can tell companies who are the backend, they're making the backend products for the different industries. They can also join here, because as I told you, Vietnam is a resource deficit country, except agriculture, a little bit mining. They don't do so much mining except in North Vietnam. So there are lots of scopes for us to enter into this market. Pharmaceutical, as I told you, it is a big area, no doubt. But our percentage of percentage share was earlier in 2000 was quite large, actually, almost 30 to 40%. But now it has gone down because we have got steep competition from Europe and American pharma companies. So last year, when we supported Vietnam with almost 10 million this molnupiravir tablets and remdesivir tablets. I think again the focus on India has come up. Very recently, a pharma group from India has signed an agreement with one big Vietnam province in North Vietnam to set up a almost 7 to 8 billion pharma park actually. So things are quite good. Today also at 4 o'clock, I had a meeting with one of their largest airlines industries. So they're planning to connect to Mumbai by month of June, which is again a positive development actually. But again, we discussed how we can expand our cooperation in higher education, in management, in accounting, banking, because these are the areas where Vietnam still yet lacks. They have good universities, no doubt. There are very good number of universities, but India has an advantage in these areas. So here also we can explore the service sector. Again, I must come back to IT part, because uptake and NEET, they are present here for last 20 years. Almost 1 lakh engineers or IT freshers, you can tell it, they have been trained by uptake and NEET actually. NEET again, last year they came back here and again they started working with a big company called K Group company. So now they're training the students for IT courses. And here also, if some of our members are into IT, vocational training, they're ready to provide, or even industrial training. It can be a very good field to work with Vietnamese companies. I myself is trying my best to promote some student exchange program. Students from Vietnam should go to India. More than 2 lakhs Vietnamese students are going to other countries. Very less number to India. Although people tell about safety and security is a big issue in India, that is true partly, but maybe we can start at least identifying those cities like Mumbai or Bangalore or Pune. Pune is a very attractive point for Vietnamese students, because lots of Vietnamese students under Government of India scholarship, they go to Pune or to Mumbai to study in the Savitribai Phule University, to Gokhale Institute of Economics, and here also we can do. And so this is a part actually, although I know this question was mostly about manufacturing, but I just a little bit digressed actually to speak Vietnam as a whole country actually. So there are lots of opportunities. We have 6,000 Indians who are staying in Ho Chi Minh City, and there are lots of traders. All the top banks in Vietnam are all the CEO posts are being occupied by Indians, and Indians are also the CEOs in most of the foreign-led companies here. So that Vietnamese people understand that the advantage of Indian education system, the advantage of that Indian ecosystem. We may not have a foolproof system, but even if that whatever is existing in India, that is also giving an opportunity to take the world actually. So those are quite important points to us. And if you can tell about the export and import from India, what are the areas? I think I've told almost all actually. Again, frozen meat, little bit it has gone down because China is no more buying from Vietnam due to this COVID issue. And seafood, definitely we can have collaboration. We can set up small partnership projects. Oil seed also very important because Vietnam is buying from us. Animal feed, they are buying from India in a big way. Cotton, Vietnam does not produce, they buy it from China, quite large size. Steel products, quite okay. Pharmaceutical also. And auto components, quite important. Chemicals, leather, fabrics, textile materials. And I understand that we have also started exporting mobile items to the world actually. And if you go to IT and emerging IT technology, that is also quite important. Small positive has been, positive growth has been seen in gems and jewelry part also. So it will be quite important, I think, that both companies, members from India, they can explore this market. I'll be happy that if your associate can come with a delegation, we'll be happy to arrange meetings here in Ho Chi Minh City, maybe some other provinces, once we understand that from which area the members will be, so that we can arrange all the meetings. And I can tell you, my take is that Vietnam is going to grow, develop in the next 10 years, and it is a country to watch for all of us. Thank you, all of you.
To Madan, we have a few questions. One of them is in the chat. So we'll quickly have a couple of questions from audiences.
Yeah.
We can actually, yeah. That's so. One of them have asked that what are the non-tariff barriers Indian businesses might face while trading with Vietnam?
Non-tariff barriers, actually.
Like in
Yeah,
terms of not encouraging the business coming from India, it might be a competitive field. So many countries create non-tariff barriers, which they just can't have a tariff, but they will just create a barrier not to do business.
yeah. Actually, I must tell you, if you see, Vietnam is a developing country, India is also a developing country. So sometimes it is used to be told that we make the same products, Vietnam make the same products, but it is a very simplistic explanation. If I'm not wrong, I think every country makes non-tariff barriers just to protect its domestic industries. But again, as I told you, again the import from India is going up by Vietnam. Vietnam is importing more and more products, definitely. Even if pharmaceutical products, where we have stiff competition from other countries, but as I told you last year, when the situation was totally out of control, it was only India who came to help that. But if we can understand the nature of the products which your member wants to send to or export to Vietnam, maybe my office can prepare some proper information on this, actually. Because this tariff, non-tariff barriers, it is an instrument which has been given to the country when they feel that there is a risky
Exactly.
to the area. So it's not all the times used, to be frank with you. I can tell you
It's
in the
very
last
subjective, actually.
very subjective. Last 1 year, I must tell you. You see, I had gone to a place called Cantho, very 140 kilometers away from 200 kilometers from here. Just I was discussing, one lady suddenly came up. Well, what happened? No, I want to buy 50,000 tons of rice. I told, rice? Vietnam produces rice. No, 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 no. Your rice is very good for making noodles. Okay. And you'll be surprised. By the time I return back to Ho Chi Minh City, already one article has come up in the newspaper that Vietnam has started importing rice. And this year, if I'm not wrong, perhaps, if I'm correct, perhaps they have purchased 100 million worth of rice from India. And the country itself is exporting rice. That you have to take it. Vietnam is exporting rice. And second point also, I will tell about peanuts. Suddenly it started, and now it has got traction. And then maize, actually, for their cattle feed kind of things, it has got traction. So what I can tell overall, that this country is a, if you take which countries are friendly countries to India, Vietnam will come definitely under the friendly category. But being a small country, definitely they will have concern. But I can assure you that if some of our members, or the main point which I can tell you, the establishment, they tell that when we tell ourselves that as a 3 trillion economy, so there is expectation from a extended neighborhood, small country, that we must have good investment. We cannot tell that we don't want to invest, because still at our focus, if you see, still it is Western, which is not bad actually. But when you want to have some political space in a country like Vietnam, with which we have long-term tradition, long-term friendship, if I go back, the relationship can go back to more than 2,000 years back. You may not have got so many Hindu sculptures or Hindu god and goddess figurines in India, but you have got it in Vietnam. So what more you want to know? But the point is that we have to make a country approach. So how to do? And so that they should feel comfortable, we should also feel comfortable. That is my point. 100, 200 million difference, who is getting on which side, is not a big issue. The big issue is that how we'll give the assurance to a small country. Because I was also
one more question from Mr. Arun. If the government of India has any vision document or planning one on trade with Vietnam, keeping in mind 2030 and 2040?
No, sorry. I think no, we have a target actually, because last year it was a $400 billion target, I think, export wise, and we achieved it. Now it is a 500 billion target. I personally believe that we should have country specific. We have country specific targets, no doubt actually. But if you take fill for a plan for a 10 years kind of things, still yet I think we don't have actually. But Vietnam will come up. But even if I don't think. Maybe it may soon cross Indonesia also in bilateral trade, if I'm not wrong. It's just going to catch up, if I'm not wrong, with bilateral trade.
Sure. One of the another audience called Prasanna is asked, is it feasible to import apparel from Vietnam? Is best price offered for good quality fabric and apparel compared to Bangladesh?
Yeah. You see, what is our role is to again to support the Indian companies, Indian entrepreneurs. If you send us details about the nature of the finished product you want to buy, or we can connect you to 5 to 10 companies. Then after you can have your discussion, even if we'll have to certain extent we'll join it, but final discussion on price and your model of payment, that is totally up to the company itself.
Interesting. If we have many more questions, we can wrap it up. It's already an hour of session now with us. Your office has shared there is one more webinar. I think you're doing as a consulate on 31st March.
Yeah.
The details are on the chat. So I request all of you to save the chat so that once you are out of the meeting, then you can have that recording of the chat in your laptop.
I think Vietnam will be one of the safe country for us to do business. I must tell you. I cannot tell you 10 people will be happy, but definitely 9 people will be happy. I can tell you very well. I can just give an example. There are 6,000 Indians, almost 6,000 Indians. They are staying before the COVID struck Vietnam. And I can tell you what they could not have achieved in India. They have achieved tremendous success here in Vietnam, only by trading.
Sure.
So the country is open.
We also have Hiren Gandhi. We also have Hiren Gandhi here, who is the chairman of Gujarat Chamber of Commerce. Hiren, do you have anything to share or
Yeah. Very namaste, sir. I'm sorry to join very late, but I represent Gujarat State, and Gujarat Chamber of Commerce is very, very active apex government body. And we are like to involve all our members and potential area. And as you know that we are the good in exim. So I just requesting to provide me the forthcoming events, any program, so that I can also share to my all members. So many people from Gujarat, our members and Gujarat Chamber of Commerce having a 184 association under us. So I like to share all your program detail to my members. They can also get a benefit from your program. That's my request to you, sir.
Definitely, I can send you. I think if it's okay, you can send me the email.
I will provide my all details, contact details, and you can send your email to you, so I can respond for my Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah.
But I very like to. I joined very late, so I feel that I lost a big good event. So next time
Vietnam, I can tell you. Vietnam, I can tell you from my personal experience. It is an important country for India. It will be an important country for India.
Second thing, doctor, we are the natural friends. So both countries having a common interest to develop a trade within the two countries.
Yeah.
So I'm also touched with the MOC. So our government is also introduced new foreign trade policy in April and May. So that is very important country for India. So I'm also personally watching all the activities and all the changes in the government side, and also affected on our Vietnam-India trade. So I send my email details to you. So you please request it to send me your details.
Okay, Dr. Madan, I would request once they share their email address, we have the recording. Your office is also have the recording of this session. We can send this recording to their members also, that they can watch it again. It was a very informative session, I must say. And it is a must watch, everybody. Yeah.
Ghan, I think you can share the email.
Mr. Arun.
Yes, sir. I will share the email.
Yeah, as mentioned, Arun is saying, there is, and you already have shared the email address where to reach out. All right, sir, I will just close the session now. Thank you very much for your time. It's a very important event which we had created, and I'm sure a lot of people will get benefit.
Thank you. Thank you, Lucas.
Thank you.
Sir,
Thank you, ma'am.
I think there's one more questions that still need to be answered from Mr. Chipati.
Avinash Tripathi. Okay. Mr. Avinash Tripathi had asked. Yes, sorry to miss out your question. Your question is I think one of the first ones there. Let me go up. Where to find details for importing goods from Vietnam? I would be more interested in buying from there.
We can send you a 2 or 3 page note to you. We can send to you.
So, and Avinash, I am also very well connected with the Vietnam Embassy in India. Bui Trung is actually in the meeting right now, and I would request Bui to send their Vietnam Embassy details. He sits in Delhi only. They have a fantastic new building which they're going to shift very, very soon. That would be the right resource to know what you can import from Vietnam. And you can also send an email to Federation. We will also get you connected to Bui Trung on the Vietnam Embassy. Bui, you want to come up on stage and introduce yourself? I think he just mentioned that he is very happy to help. So Avinash, you can seek help from the Vietnam Embassy also.
So I think Vietnam Embassy is quite active.
Oh yes, they are doing a lot of activities in India, and really a fantastic team.
Thank
I
you.
haven't
Thank
met
you
the
very much.
current ambassador.
Congratulations, Dr. Seti.
Yeah,
Actually,
thank you.
I'm on, yes, I'm a little busy now. But again, thank
That's
you
okay.
very much and congratulations for very informative and productive webinar.
Thank
Actually,
you.
for who would like to address with our Embassy of Vietnam, yes, I will share our contact detail very soon. And
Sure.
actually, we just received the invitation from Dr. Seti for the webinar on the 31st of March. So I will be there and I will share with you all detail. Thank you very much and look forward to see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bui. All right, sir.
Thank you,
Can we close
Lakshmi.
the session now? Thank you so much.